Welcome back, my friends. Federal regulator finds Tesla autopilot has critical safety gap linked to hundreds of collisions. Federal authorities say a critical safety gap in Tesla's autopilot system contributed to at least 467 collisions, 13 resulting in fatalities. The findings come from a National Highway Traffic Safety Administration analysis of 956 crashes, in which Tesla autopilot was thought to have been in use. Tesla's autopilot design has led to foreseeable misuse and avoidable crashes, the NHTSA report said. But before we get into all of that, I would like to thank everyone who views my videos. If you would like to support the channel, please see the link to buy me a coffee in the video description below. And please hit the like button and leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Federal authorities say a critical safety gap in Tesla's autopilot system contributed to at least 467 collisions, 13 resulting in fatalities and many others resulting in serious injuries. The findings come from a National Highway Traffic Safety Administration analysis of 956 crashes, in which Tesla autopilot was thought to have been in use. The results of the nearly 3-year investigation were published Friday. Tesla's autopilot design has led to foreseeable misuse and avoidable crashes, the NHTSA report said. The system did not sufficiently ensure driver attention and appropriate use. NHTSA's filing pointed to a weak driver engagement system and autopilot that stays switched on even when a driver isn't paying adequate attention to the road or the driving task. The driver engagement system includes various prompts, including nags or chimes, that tell drivers to pay attention and keep their hands on the wheel, as well as in-cabin cameras that can detect when a driver is not looking at the road. The agency also said it was opening a new probe into the effectiveness of a software update Tesla previously issued as part of a recall in December. That update was meant to fix autopilot defects that NHTSA identified as part of this same investigation. The voluntary recall via an over-the-air software update covered 2 million Tesla vehicles in the US, and was supposed to specifically improve driver monitoring systems in Teslas equipped with autopilot. NHTSA suggested in its report Friday that the software update was probably inadequate, since more crashes linked to autopilot continue to be reported. Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving linked to hundreds of crashes, dozens of deaths. NHTSA found that Tesla's driver assist features are insufficient at keeping drivers engaged in the task of driving, which can often have fatal results. In March 2023, a North Carolina student was stepping off a school bus when he was struck by a Tesla Model Y traveling at highway speeds, according to a federal investigation that published today. The Tesla driver was using autopilot, the automaker's advanced driver assist feature that Elon Musk insists will eventually lead to fully autonomous cars. The 17-year-old student who was struck was transported to a hospital by helicopter with life-threatening injuries. But what the investigation found after examining hundreds of similar crashes was a pattern of driver inattention, combined with the shortcomings of Tesla's technology, resulting in hundreds of injuries and dozens of deaths. Drivers using autopilot or the system's more advanced sibling, full self-driving, were not sufficiently engaged in the driving task, and Tesla's technology did not adequately ensure that drivers maintained their attention on the driving task, NHTSA concluded. Drivers using autopilot or the system's more advanced sibling, full self-driving, were not sufficiently engaged in the driving task. In total, NHTSA investigated 956 crashes, starting in January 2018 and extending all the way until August 2023. Of those crashes, some of which involved other vehicles striking the Tesla vehicle, 29 people died. There were also 211 crashes in which the frontal plane of the Tesla struck a vehicle or obstacle in its path. These crashes, which were often the most severe, resulted in 14 deaths and 49 injuries. NHTSA was prompted to launch its investigation after several incidents of Tesla drivers crashing into stationary emergency vehicles parked on the side of the road. Most of these incidents took place after dark, with the software ignoring scene control measures, including warning lights, flares, cones, and an illuminated arrow board. In its report, the agency found that autopilot, and in some cases FSD, was not designed to keep the driver engaged in the task of driving. Tesla says that it warns its customers that they need to pay attention while using autopilot and FSD, which includes keeping their hands on the wheels and eyes on the road. But NHTSA says that in many cases, drivers would become overly complacent and lose focus, and when it came time to react, it was often too late. Related, Tesla's in its flop era. In 59 crashes examined by NHTSA, the agency found that Tesla drivers had enough time, 5 or more seconds, prior to crashing into another object in which to react. In 19 of those crashes, the hazard was visible for 10 or more seconds before the collision. Reviewing crash logs and data provided by Tesla, NHTSA found that drivers failed to brake or steer to avoid the hazard in a majority of the crashes analyzed. Crashes with no or late evasive action attempted by the driver were found across all Tesla hardware versions and crash circumstances, NHTSA said. NHTSA also compared Tesla's Level 2, L2 automation features to products available in other companies' vehicles. Unlike other systems, autopilot would disengage rather than allow drivers to adjust their steering. This discourages drivers from staying involved in the task of driving, NHTSA said. Crashes with no or late evasive action attempted by the driver were found across all Tesla hardware versions and crash circumstances. A comparison of Tesla's design choices to those of L2 peers identified Tesla as an industry outlier in its approach to L2 technology by mismatching a weak driver engagement system with autopilot's permissive operating capabilities, the agency said. Even the brand name Autopilot is misleading, NHTSA said, conjuring up the idea that drivers are not in control. While other companies use some version of Assist, Sense, or Team, Tesla's products lure drivers into thinking they are more capable than they are. California's Attorney General and the state's Department of Motor Vehicles are both investigating Tesla for misleading branding and marketing. NHTSA acknowledges that its probe may be incomplete based on gaps in Tesla's telemetry data. That could mean there are many more crashes involving Autopilot and FSD than what NHTSA was able to find. Even the brand name Autopilot is misleading, NHTSA said. Tesla issued a voluntary recall late last year in response to the investigation, pushing out an over-the-air software update to add more warnings to Autopilot. NHTSA said today it was launching a new investigation into the recall after a number of safety experts said the update was inadequate and still allowed for misuse. The findings cut against Musk's insistence that Tesla is an artificial intelligence company that is on the cusp of releasing a fully autonomous vehicle for personal use. The company plans to unveil a robotaxi later this year that is supposed to usher in this new era for Tesla. During this week's first quarter earnings call, Musk doubled down on the notion that his vehicles were safer than human-driven cars. If you've got at scale a statistically significant amount of data that shows conclusively that the autonomous car has, let's say, half the accident rate of a human-driven car, I think that's difficult to ignore, Musk said. Because at that point, stopping autonomy means killing people. Tesla said in December 2023 it would issue safety software updates to its autopilot features after crashes. But more crashes have federal regulators investigating whether the automaker did enough. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating the adequacy of Tesla's December 2023 recall of more than 2 million vehicles to update its autopilot features after numerous crashes. NHTSA's Office of Defects Investigation is opening the investigation after it identified 20 crashes involving Tesla vehicles with updated software, the agency said in documents filed Friday. After the software updates were deployed, ODI identified concerns due to post-remedy crash events and results from preliminary NHTSA tests of remedied vehicles, the agency said in the filing. The agency also closed a nearly 3-year investigation, analyzing 956 crashes involving Tesla vehicles up to August 30, 2023. Nearly half of the accidents, 467, could have been avoidable, ODI said, but happened because Tesla's weak driver engagement system was not appropriate for Autopilot's permissive operating capabilities. In that investigation, the agency found at least 13 crashes, involving 1 or more fatalities and many more involving serious injuries, in which foreseeable driver misuse of the system played an apparent role, it said. Last week, a Tesla driven by someone with Tesla's full self-driving beta feature reportedly engaged, hit and killed a motorcyclist in Washington state. That feature isn't a total self-driving mode, but does more than autopilot, navigating turns and stopping at lights and signs, and still requires drivers to pay attention. While often referred to as self-driving cars, Teslas actually have driver support features that make driving easier but not totally automatic. Autopilot involves using Tesla's traffic-aware cruise control, which matches the speed of other traffic, and auto steer, which helps keep the vehicle within a lane, but drivers are supposed to have their hands on the wheel. But drivers may be expecting their Tesla to do too much, federal regulators say. A critical safety gap between drivers' expectations of Tesla's driver's assistance systems, operating capabilities and the system's true capabilities led to foreseeable misuse and avoidable crashes, the agency said in its closed investigation report. In those 467 accidents, ODI said attentive drivers should have been able to respond or mitigate the crash in many cases. Other times, cars went off the road when auto-steer. Tesla's hands-on steering assist feature was inadvertently disengaged by the driver's inputs, or the features were being used in low traction conditions such as wet roadways, the agency said. The new investigation will evaluate the adequacy of the December 2023 recall, including the prominence and scope of autopilot controls to address misuse, mode confusion, or usage in environments the system is not designed for, the agency said. When announced in December, the recall involved 220 vehicles. The 2012, 2023 Model S, 2016, 2023 Model X, 2017, 2023 Model 3, and 2020, 2023 Model Y vehicles, all equipped with Tesla's AutoSteer driver assistance feature. In its issuance of the December 2023 recall, Tesla noted that, in certain circumstances when the AutoSteer feature is engaged, and the driver does not maintain personal responsibility for vehicle operation, and is unprepared to intervene as necessary or fails to recognize when AutoSteer is canceled or not engaged, there may be an increased risk of a crash. The ODI investigation includes newer models and the Tesla Cybertruck too. The new investigation lands as Tesla recently announced a decline in first-quarter revenue and layoffs in Austin and the Bay Area. CEO Elon Musk, however, remained bullish on the company's self-driving technology and electric cars, and the company is expected to unveil its robotaxi on August 8. But what do you think? Please hit the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. And before we end, a word from the sponsor of this video. Today's sponsor is ProWorldNet.com. ProWorldNet.com is a job website specifically dedicated to licensed professions. Doctors, including any type of specialty, nurses, and that includes all grades of nurses, lawyers, regardless of area of legal focus, teachers and professors, from kindergarten through graduate school, as well as any kind of job that requires a government license or certification. And ProWorldNet.com also includes short-term gig-type jobs as well. So, be sure to check out ProWorldNet.com if you are looking for a job or an employee. Thank you for watching.